Boys, thanks for your patience on a very cold and blustery day at the Bend. OTR Supersprint at the Bend looked like a lot of fun. Pretty close race in the end between Scotty and Shane, and nice work, Cam, bringing it home for the podium. So we'll get some questions going for our journalists. I'll start us off, actually. Scott, new track obviously today, but kind of only just new. Can you tell the journos what that learning process was like, just figuring out the new layout today?
It wasn't too difficult for us all. I think just one corner. It was just the way you braked into six. I think that was a little bit the new turn six that you just had to sort of get your head around, and then the flow on to then the part of the track that we all know. I've been here all week, so I sort of just walked around and just looked at it a little bit, but also at the same time it hasn't been too difficult to get used to. So had a big think about it throughout the week.
Shane, good job today. Kept Scotty honest for sure. One from Craig Ravel from Inside Supercars. You said it was a snooze fest at the end, which is pretty funny. Can you elaborate a bit more on that? It looked pretty close to the end, just not quite close enough for you.
Everyone hates harping on about it. Sort of been talked about enough this year, but yeah, it's aero wash and low dig track, and Scotty's good at placing his car in the right place, and most people are now. So unfortunately, we don't see much passing these days. It was a tough one, but I sort of had 2 laps, but never really got close enough to even think about having a lunge. But yeah, it is what it is. It's really a qualifying series now, and that's Scotty's strength. So we need to get a bit better at qualifying.
Yeah. And Cam, your point there, I mean, you were pretty quick in qualifying. Let's go just talk quickly about the layout. Which do you prefer, Cam, last week or this week to race on?
I don't really have a preference. It's a bit of fun with the turn 6 going the other way now, but I think last week was pretty good with obviously all the tyre issues that we're having. So I think if we're on the other layout now, with the temperatures we got now, I don't think we'll be having the blisters either. So is what it is. I don't really have a preference.
Scott, preference for you? You've only got one on both.
Big one's probably a bit more interesting. The little one's that's cool as well. It's shorter, so it's less effort. So I don't know. It's a good race, but I think going back on Shane's comments with the dirty air and stuff, it's like you sort of last week with the tyres and stuff, it masked the issue. I think we would have had a much bigger issue even last week if it wasn't for like all the deg that we were having. So if we were on the hard tyre or something, it would have been really bad. So it sucks a little bit. Finally,
Shane, any preference on short or long track for you?
The long track is awesome to drive, yeah. But I really thought this week was going to be good for racing, better than last week. But as Scotty said, we didn't have the tyre issues, so it wasn't. But this track's always cool to drive. It just doesn't suit V8s. But in a GT car or an LMP2 car, it's a really, really cool track.
All right, Andrew Van Leeuwen, locked up over there in Perth from motorsport.com. To all drivers, is there any chance the tyre allocation will come into play tomorrow, or is the 5 sets enough in these conditions, in this layout especially? Shane, you mentioned it's pretty low deg, so is tyre allocation an issue tomorrow?
No, and everyone did 2 tyres anyway, so everyone's in a pretty similar spot, and with no deg, you can't really afford the extra 3 or 4 seconds to do the extra tyre or 2 tyres. So everyone will just do the same, but maybe with no rear tyre issues today, you might see more sides tomorrow, but it'll probably just be 2 tyres.
Cam, anything you've learned tyre-wise that you'll take into tomorrow?
Not really, mate. I think it's going to be pretty standard with the tyre strategies this weekend. Obviously, there's not much deg, and you need the track position, so expect more 2 tyres and low deg.
All right. Steph Bartholomeus from supercars.com. Scotty, if you win the championship, will the nature of the season with the COVID break and the altered calendar make it any more or less of an achievement?
I've been asked this a number of times, and I mean, whoever loses is going to be not going to call it a championship or whatever, or is going to be a little salty, and then whoever wins is, going to say it meant the most and the same as anything. So for me, I race every race, and I think everyone else does like it's the proper deal. And yeah, it's been a mixed up calendar. There's been tracks on double headers, stuff that we haven't seen before. But if anything, for me, it's made the championship more difficult. It's been a lot more about the camaraderie within the teams and within your team, and continuing the momentum that you have and learning on the run. And especially at a place like Townsville where we struggled, we really needed to hit back there. Otherwise, we were going to lose a heap of points, and we did. And that's what I've really enjoyed about 2020 is just the ups and downs and the peaks and troughs. It's been good.
Okay. Back to Craig Liddell. All drivers, did your engineers overcorrect the car setup and strategy due to tyre issues last week? Let's go to you, Shane, on that one. Was there any overcorrection, or was it almost irrelevant tyre-wise because of the different layout?
Yeah, I don't really understand that one. We just, I don't know. I guess, we didn't detune as much as last week, but you still obviously take a bit of camber off, soften it up for the race. But yeah, probably not to the extreme as last week. But it's in the back of your mind that the tyres might happen, but, we have so much less load compared to last week, almost half the load.
Yeah, I think that answers it. Pam, do you feel the same about that? You didn't change too much in the car that you thought was wrong because of anything that might happen last week?
No, we didn't tune at all for the tyre blistering this week. It was more we tuned more accordingly to what the less high speed and more of a 90-degree circuit. So I think for us, we probably thought it was more of a balance thing causing it, and also what Shane said, the load and the conditions are so cool today compared to last week. I think the blistering was always never going to happen this week.
Cam, here's one for you from Andrew Clark, Supercar Extra magazine. Cam, how has all this time on the road and without normal race prep at home affected the team? How much harder do you think it's been for the Melbourne teams? Are you looking forward to going home to your own bed?
Big question. It's been challenging for sure. Just getting parts up from base has been a bit of a challenge with all the lockdowns in Melbourne. We had a few issues with uprights at one point, so we had to try and rectify that. Where usually you got a few weeks off to fix it. We had a week or so. So it's been challenging at times. It's probably hurt some of our development stuff, but at the same time, it's brought the whole team together really well. It's probably the best I've seen the guys working together. That's been really good for our team. And, it could have gone either way. We all could have hated each other, or we all worked well together, and it's gone the right way. And it's great to have the big boss back on deck. He's been doing a mega job on the barbecue and really helping out.
Hey, you mentioned that upright issue. Was there a shortage of parts, or just not being able to upgrade things the way you wanted?
No, it was more of a spec thing. We had a few uprights fail in weird spots, so we just had to beef them up a bit. And they did an awesome job to be able to pump out some new parts for us in the current climate.
Is that off the back of Darwin, where there was a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact and we saw some uprights breaking? Is that where that came from?
Yeah, that happened, and then with Jack as well at Townsville, I believe. So we saw it was an issue, and the boys did a mega job fixing it for Townsville too. Is there going to be a problem bringing parts up for Bathurst for you guys? I don't believe so. I believe we've got all our stuff for Bathurst already. Not 100% sure, but we'll be right. We'll just pressure pack the front bars and go again. All right, back to Shane from Dan Herrero, speedcafe.com. Were you mindful of the championship picture, and can we expect you to actively try to take points off Scotty for that reason alone? No. Fair enough. Simon Chapman to Scott, how much do these records mean to you as far as cementing your legacy in Australian motor racing? Should you end up leaving and going to the USA at some point? I heard you say on the broadcast, proud for your family. Is that the word that sums it up to you?
It just means a lot to get here. Like you set yourself up in a good team, and all us three have gone through ups and downs throughout all our careers, and been in a good team now to put yourself in a position to get on podiums and stuff like that. And just been lucky that we've had a fast car in the period that we can. And the car that we've driven over the last 4 years has just been absolutely phenomenal. So over a long period of time. So just count myself very lucky.
All right. Dan McCarthy, Auto Action. Shane, you are now mathematically out of title contention. Will you now play the team game and help Car 88? It's a little bit more of an expansion of what I asked you a second ago. It's another no, is it?
Yeah, pretty much the same answer. Yeah, I'll just do my own stuff, man, and go racing. And we've been out for a little while, but since Townsville Saturday night, we found some stuff with the car, got better, and we've been pretty much in contention to be up the front every race or session since. So, I'm just happy to be quick again and mixing it up with these guys and being competitive and being within a shot of it. But, I'm not, silly questions, some of them.
I've often heard you say that the championship, you take a championship over Bathurst. Going to Bathurst now that you can just focus on the race, is that going to be a really different thing for you? Because usually it's such a big points race in the middle of everything. You're looking forward to just focusing on it a bit like the 12-hour?
Good question. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. But I'd probably the same. I'll just treat it the same as every race and always have a good car there and always have a chance to win the race basically the last few years. So I just have to put it together myself. It's going to be very tough for the co-drivers especially. The lineup is stellar of all the co-drivers, but they just haven't had any laps. So that's going to be tough. But, I've got as good a shot as anyone. We just have to get things right all week, put a good car on the track from the first session and just tune it. So, I've got a good shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last one here. You've already seen. Just trying to take a couple of fan questions here as well. Here's a good one. We talked about the records a second, Scotty. You've equalled Garth Tander. Next on the list, fairway up the list is Scafie on 90 wins. Do you reckon you'll ever get that?
I'd love to get to that, Chad, one day. If I've got a good enough car, I will.
Fair enough. I reckon you might be able to beat Scafie for IndyCar wins. All right, Andrew Xavier. Last one. Shane, at the bend, what's the better option for the start, the inside or the outside line?
Pole's on the inside, and I'd prefer to start on pole. But the outside. The outside's probably got the more grip. So I think from the inside, we both got pretty decent starts then. So can be done.
I saw Jack tried your high line move, the turn one, just bomb it around the outside. That was pretty smart.
Yeah, it worked for him. You just get so much more grip out there. No one ever runs down the inside normally. So he did a good job.
And Scott, you almost looked to sort of check that move as well. Was that something that you'd learned from last week?
I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, right.
So, I just doing my own thing, dawdling, and just didn't want to spray it. It's turn one, and then Jack was all around the outside with the big kahunas.
All right, boys, well done. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience. Enjoy the night. Hopefully see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.